Okay, this is Andy's Trains, Repairs, and Service. I'm making another short video on the back of the last one that I just did, which was the one with the label under the roof of the cab of my 675 from 1952. This is the front, the boiler front of that engine. And couple of things. We're about to install these little emerald green reflectors or lights or whatever they were supposed to be at the time. They're actually supposed to be lights, and these are often out. They fall out of these engines often, and they're very small. And they're very delicate to work with, but not impossible. And I wanted to try to give you a close-up as best I could, so that you could see, the holes where these things are going. And it's all cleaned, and I'll tell you more about this entire thing after I put these in. But I'm going to install the two green lenses. The way I do that is right, wrong, or indifferent. Some people may have a different way of doing it, but I've done it like this, and it really works well. I use a super glue. This one happens to be Loctite, and a toothpick. A little toothpick. And the reason why I use a toothpick is because there's so little that has to go in these holes. You don't want to flood the hole. And if I just use this thing, it's going to drop out a lot. So I just put a lot, well, not a lot, I put a little bit on the end of this toothpick. And this is the hardest part, to be honest with you. To put enough so that I can dab it in here, but not so much that it floods it. Okay. I have to. Now this stuff, you know it's fast drying and yada yada yada. But guess what? If you don't put it between two pieces, it takes a while to dry up. And this one is no different than the others. Okay, so I put what I could without putting too much. However, since I feel like I put too much, I will actually use this toothpick to suck out, if you will. I break off the tip. Suck out a little bit of this extra stuff. Okay, I think we're good. And I like to use this tweezer with it's a coated metal, has coating on it. It grips the little emeralds better. And you just drop them into the hole very lightly, but very deliberately. And you do it in such a way that they're face up, or in the right direction, shall I say. And just push them down just to make sure they're seated. You really can't push them down. They're either in the hole or they're not. So, there you have it. This will dry, and in a little while. I like to let them dry I'll let it sit there for a couple hours, just for the heck of it. Of course, there's no sense rushing it. Make sure that the glue underneath these two pieces of emerald glass, whatever, are dry, completely dry, because it takes a while sometimes for this stuff to dry. So we're definitely in place. And they look good. They're looking good. They're the right size and all. And we will let this dry. However, one thing I want to tell you is, you might be a little surprised. I hope I can get this without going out of the video shot here. But basically, I know it's upside down, but basically, maybe it's not. Yeah, it is upside down. As you can see, it has both running lights, right? Both marker lights. The stanchions themselves. Well, one of these was the original when I got this engine in 1952, and it still has the original one. The other one, I remember breaking probably third or fourth year I had this engine. My father wasn't around, my brother wasn't around. I was already at the age, I forget how old I was, but I was probably 8 or something like that, and I was at the age where I could run the thing by myself under the tree, because that's the only time we had them up. And I went too fast, and this 675 does not have magnet traction. So guess what happened? Yeah, you guessed it, went off the track. And when it did, it broke off completely one of these running lights. I don't know if you can guess which one. I'll give you a minute or two, take a good look. And if you said it's the right one as opposed to the left one, you would be correct. The right one is the one I put on, and I use JB Weld, which you have to kind of mix, and I put, I cut it down, filed it, and et cetera, and made it fit the same way that the original one on the left, or pretty close to the same way that one fit. And I make my own jigs out of wood and stuff, as you could see by this thing. I actually fixed it while it was on these couple of pieces of wood, but in order to get it done right, and make sure that I don't get the JB Weld in the wrong places, I make these out of this plastic cardstock. I make this little jig here, this little thing, and then I prop it up behind there so that it fits. It actually fits under the face of this thing, tight to the inner ring, and then I do my thing. I glue it on, let it set for 24 hours. I come back, I take off the jig. I use my X-Acto knife and a couple of files, file it all down where it needs to be cut and filed, and voila, I got a new light on it. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed this one. I'll have many more of these. And oh, by the way, we were talking about, the engines that get cleaned up, and I use Vaseline, petroleum jelly, because that's what petroleum jelly is. And this is my engine. I keep it pretty clean. Of course, I don't want it to look like it just came out of the showroom, but it looks pretty damn good for 70, let's see, 52, that's 43, 53, 63, I don't know, 60, yeah, what is it, 40, oh no, 47, 57, 67, yeah, this thing is old. So, looks pretty good, no? Looks in good shape. And when I put this on the front of it, it'll look even better. Smoke's great. I just ran it, I tested it, cleaned it, lubed it, and smoke's great. This set, I'm getting ready to give this train set, my 1952 train set, to my grandson, who is now, I think he's 14. Anyway, he's my namesake. he was the third grandson to be born, and I was graced enough to have him be named after me. So he gets my train set from when I was a kid, plus other stuff. But this is his. He could do whatever he wants with it when it's his. And that's about it. See you next time on Andy's Trains Repair and Maintenance.